Hey guys, welcome to the outdoors. I'm sitting outside my property enjoying lunch. It's one of the benefits of working from home, definitely, is getting a chance to be in my beautiful yard. We are surrounded by woods here in an undisclosed location. Uh, I'm fortunate in that we have 8 acres. Our neighbors have 50. And aside from a community that's at least a couple hundred, maybe 300 meters away. Listen to me, I sound sophisticated. I'm using meters. Um, we're in relative seclusion here. You can hear, I'm guessing, some cicadas, some background traffic from the highway that's a couple miles away, but that's about it. Anyway, I wanted to talk, first, a note of disclosure. What I'm about to say, YouTube, is not medical advice. I'm not claiming to be a doctor. I'm not claiming to prescribe medication. I'm merely citing fact that's easily verifiable online through Google, Google Scholar, Facebook, YouTube. So this is verified information I'm about to share. So the first piece of information is related to a video that I actually watched this morning, and I would really encourage you to watch this. It was the acceptance speech for the Nobel Prize in Physiology of Medicine from 2015, and it was uploaded from what I can see in 2016. But it's the Nobel Peace Prize winners for physiology or medicine were Satoshi Omura and William C. Campbell. These were both researchers who worked on the medicine ivermectin, the medicine that shall not be named. And when you watch that video, keep in mind its timing. It came several years before the Macy procedure, the Macy. I'm like in work mode. It came in online several years before the COVID disease came into our knowledge. And what he's obviously talking about is the development of ivermectin for the treatment of parasitic worms. That's what it was originally designed for. And those parasitic worms weren't the only thing that ivermectin would go on to treat. In fact, research has been around for a while that has shown the capabilities of that particular treatment, ivermectin. So anyway, I'd encourage you to check that out, keeping in mind that it's prior to all the mania and negative press that you've been hearing about the horse dewormer. I just went a little further up into the property because one of my sons who has special needs was about to come out, and he can be pretty noisy sometimes. So anyway, listen to that acceptance speech and listen particularly to what Dr. Campbell says is his hope for the future of research in relation to using medications off-label. He has a quote in there. He says it very eloquently as a proper English gentleman, but I think you'll find that illustrative. Now let's talk about something else that's on my mind, and this article really helps drive it home. Apparently a couple days ago in Brooklyn, New York, now Governor Hochul attended a Christian Cultural Center service. She's now governor instead of Governor Cuomo, who was removed himself after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct. And anyway, so here's the governor. You want to talk about lack of separation of church and state. Here's a governor up at the pulpit in a church. I need you to be my apostles. Oh, hold on. Had a little visitor. Little relatively benign spider, but I really don't care for spiders crawling on me. Um, Governor Hochul, I need you to be my apostles. I need you to go out and talk about it and say, we owe this to each other. We love each other. Jesus taught us to love one another. And how do we show that love but to care about each other enough to say, please get the vaccine because I love you and I want you to live. I want our kids to be safe when they're in school. I want to to be safe when you go to the doctor's office or to the hospital and are treated by somebody. You don't want to get the virus from them. You're already sick or you wouldn't be there. You have to solve this, my friends. I need every one of you. I need you to let them know that this is how we can fight this pandemic. Now, there's a full speech. I swear everything's conspiring to make noise today. There's a full speech available at governor.ny.gov. Governor.ny.gov. And it's the rush transcript from September 26th. Governor Hochul attends service at Christian Cultural Center. So now we have the development of the religion of the vaccine. Okay? And I've heard this for a while now. I even have a friend who should know better because she has a theological degree, saying that this is how we show that we're loving our neighbor by getting the vaccine. And first of all, that's taking a whole lot of liberty with the text of Scripture. There's a principle in biblical interpretation called hermeneutics. Hermeneutics is basically finding out the meaning of the text. What was the author's intent in conveying what the author wrote? Not what I get out of it, because I may, in my modern context, not get the full understanding of that text. But if I'm actually trying to understand what the author meant, authorial intent, I'm doing hermeneutics properly. And so to assume that Jesus would, let's say, get the vaccine himself, or say, you need to get the vaccine, that's how you love your neighbor as yourself, I think is extremely short-sighted, takes great liberties with the text that's not shouldn't be utilized in proper biblical interpretation, and really reads into the text quite a bit that's not there. And the question would be, the main thing at issue here is that the assumption is you are harming your neighbor if you don't get the vaccine. You are doing good for your neighbor if you do get the vaccine. Because, of course, the general principle of doing good or beneficence towards people is what might guide somebody towards the ethics of getting the vaccine. And the answer clearly is we don't know. So there was a study, or not a study, an article. I wish I could remember what state it came out from. But officials were, or maybe it might have been London. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this real quick. I'm kind of going off the cuff here a little bit. London, 1/3 cases. Let's see if that pulls it up. All right, it doesn't say anything here, but I just heard this stat, so you'd have to look it up to see if there's any veracity to it. But that I want to say it was London reported that 1/3 of its admitted COVID cases were unvaccinated individuals. 1/3 of its admitted COVID cases were unvaccinated. So what does that tell you about the remainder 2/3? they're vaccinated. You also might notice there's a growing number of celebrities that are posting these sad videos in which they're urging people to be vaccinated because they got vaccinated and ended up with COVID. And they're miserable, and they're talking about how miserable they are despite getting the vaccine. So, you know, the takeaway from that is supposed to be things could be a lot worse if you get it. And then this is the religion of those that are pro-vaccine. So YouTube. So far, I've said nothing unfactual. It's verifiable. You can look online if you want to do some research. You fact checkers. So with that said, we don't know long-term studies. We don't know long-term studies. We don't have the long-term studies. We don't have years of data on these vaccines. And that would constitute long-term YouTube. I just have to say that because, you know, they could ding me for this video, which they might still do even though I'm spitting facts. But anyway, beware the religion. Beware the religion that's coming out, because the adherents are scary. And they have their mantra, like, you know, praising themselves, I got vaccinated. Or the mantra of solidarity, we can do this, get the vaccine. Trying to think of a worshipful mantra. All praise Fauci? I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got to say for today. So I hope you're doing well. Some of you have continued to reach out to me and ask for the transcript for the vaccine exemption that I did. Feel free to keep doing that. Adamson Enterprises #1 @gmail.com, and I'll be happy to send that to you. And remember, don't capitulate. Don't give in. Because when we start to cave on the eradication of small liberties, we will eventually lose more liberties. Take care. God bless.